All right. You are not going to believe it. I took a rest day yesterday. What? So I had to drive home to get some extra clothes and whatnot that I forgot when I moved in. And by the time it was about ready to lift, it was like, it was an ungodly hour. And considering I'm going to have to be waking up at, 6 in the coming weeks, well, actually, starting on like Monday, I was probably better off just finishing the extra canes that I got, eating some Fruit Loops and one pack of ramen, and getting a good night's rest. So later today will be leg day, actually in a couple hours. So rather than doing it yesterday, and so pretty much rather than skipping that lift in the split, like if I would have done legs yesterday, then I could have done chest today. That would have been the plan. So instead of doing that, I just pushed legs back one day. If, oh, I really couldn't foresee skipping a leg day. I mean, Jesus, what is wrong with you? But delaying a lift, that's pretty much my go-to method of rest day implementation. Now, typically it's only if, like the only times that I'll do rest days are if I have some kind of scheduling conflict, if I'm extremely sick for whatever reason. Well, actually, that's pretty much it. Other than those two circumstances, I'm pretty consistent about being well fed, hydrated, and rested. And even if I'm not super well rested, I'm still well hydrated and fed, so I'm gonna go hit my lift anyways. But plan now is just go in and do 30 minutes of cardio. Won't even be that fucking hard. I don't even know. I don't know how to change my approach on, like, telling you guys to do your cardio. I don't understand what I can say differently to make it seem more appealing. You see this hot girl behind me? If you do your 30 minutes of cardio a day, she'll be yours. Is that what I have to say? I just, well, whatever. At the end of the day, I'm doing it. You can do whatever you want. But I can definitely tell you the benefits that I pretty much, every time I fucking talk about cardio, I always list these three off. You're gonna have better endurance, so when you're lifting, you're not gonna be so fucking out of breath. Like if I were to not do any cardio, plus with like the amount of food that I eat, I think I would be fucking dying after a set of squats, even more so than I already am. Like for me, after a normal working set, I'm probably waiting about 2-ish minutes, sometimes more, sometimes less. For lighter movements like arms, biceps, triceps, I usually don't have to wait that long, maybe a minute between sets. With chest, let's say I'm doing heavy pressing, it's probably about 2 minutes. And after after squats, since it's just such a taxing movement, dude, I'm out for like 5 minutes before I want to do another set of leg extensions and move on. Oh, oh, thank you. But you said bless you, right? No, okay. What the fuck am I even saying here? Yeah, so better endurance. You're going to be burning more energy throughout the day. So in a bulking context, you're going to have better metabolism, and then you're just going to be leaner. If I didn't do any cardio this whole bulk, right now I would most certainly have more body fat on me. Now, sure, I guess, that would also mean I'd have more weight on me, but, I like pushing the scale. Obviously, I like seeing the scale go up, but it's not about pure weight when you're bulking up. It's about your muscle mass, your lean body mass. So you'll be kind of just leaner when in a bulking state. And then obviously everyone knows to do cardio when you're dieting because it's going to help you burn extra calories, get leaner, and be able to eat a little bit more food. If you catch my drift. But basic idea, I'll probably go in there and just play some Clash Royale and scroll on TikTok and watch Instagram Reels. I'd say I've been watching more Reels lately because You know, obviously every fucking social media platform, they're copying TikTok with that, the scrolling feature. Instagram Reels has done a pretty good job. Like, they know how to keep your attention. But I think they're missing the morality feature that TikTok has. Like, I'll get sucked into TikToks just watching, I don't know, whatever normal TikTok content is, like just goofs or random, like, funny shit. But I'll be on Instagram Reels for an hour watching, people get hit by Mustangs in during takeovers. Dude, I fucking love that shit. But that'll pretty much, honestly, I'll I'll get into that trance and I'll look up at the bike. Oh, 300 calories, 30 minutes done. I'll put the settings. So it's kind of arbitrary, right? Each machine reads its numbers differently, and like the difficulty levels are going to be different on all these seated bikes. But for the most part, what I found to be a pretty decent amount of cardio for me is when I put the machine's difficulty level at such a setting where when I pedal for about a minute, it'll burn 10 calories. Well, the machine will say I burn 10 calories. Whether or not that's right, whatever. Don't think about it too much. But by the time I've done 30 minutes and the machine says I've burned 300 calories, I definitely feel like I've done something. I get a little bit of a gauge. I guess this depends on temperature or how well hydrated you are or whatever. But if you sweat at about the halfway mark, if you start getting some sweat marks about 15 minutes in, 10 minutes in, that's probably pretty good difficulty. I'm not here to do sprints. This is not high intensity cardio. I'm not doing HIIT training or high intensity interval training. This is just low intensity, steady state cardio. Now you can do the treadmill or you can do the Stairmaster, whatever. All the cardio machines are doing the same thing in a basic sense. They're just raising your heart rate. But I like to seated bike the most because if you're on a treadmill, it's kind of hard to play on your phone. Your torso's kind of wobbling around as you're taking steps. You're holding on to the handle. It's not my deal. I'd rather sit on a seated bike where all I got to do is pedal and then I can just sit here like this. It's perfect. So let's go for, let's get 30 minutes of this done and then do a little bit of a unpumped pose down. Well, I guess it'll kind of be like a check-in. I wore shorts so we can see pretty much everything unpumped. Torso, legs, arms, shoulders, back, calves, forearms. Just listing off every fucking body part. I tell you what, I'm not excited to go back to class. I've kind of just been sort of pushing that idea away in my mind, but that'll be me next week. And probably most of you guys already. My school starts kind of late. So let's just cut to the post-cardio pose down. Maybe I'll make another post. I'll make another poll post later today. How many of you are planning on doing your cardio? How about that? I know asking you if you're doing your cardio right now, that puts a lot of pressure on you. You're like, oh, well, why is he calling me out? I'll just ask how many of you are planning on doing it, and we'll see if the data shows any changes. But whatever, let's cut to the yoga room. There we go. Okay, so 30 minutes on the bike, 300 calories. You can kind of see this isn't my most abrupt, what's the word? Sweat mark. It's not the craziest. This shirt's definitely wet though. The color just doesn't change so much. Let's get a little through the shirt lat spread just for fun, and then we can actually start seeing what we're working with. All right, so that should be pretty wide. But I'm nowhere near ripping the shirt just from the lat spread, so I guess I've got some more work to do. So let's see what we're working with. Torso completely unpumped. The legs probably have no, No. Like just standing here, they're soft. But I mean, just from doing the seated bike cardio, you can get a little bit of a quad pump. Obviously, nothing comparable to an actual lift, but you can still get a little something going on. So let's see what's going on under here. Should have worn shorter shorts. Whew. Oh yeah, back. Oh. Oh. I definitely need a few more fucking meals in me before I go do legs later. I'll probably do, I don't know, I'd say maybe 300-400 more grams of carbs, some protein, and then a nap. And then I'll just come back here for quads. Or no, quads and hamstrings. What am I talking about? So, here, let's just roll up the leg sleeve, see what we're working with underneath. Oh yeah. So compared to like a quad pump, ooh, yeah, so this little shadow right here, a lot of this separation. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but maybe look right in here for these little lines. That'll start looking actually fucking sick once I start trimming down. A little bit of quad striation. A little bit less in this leg. My quads have they've got slightly different shape from this one compared to this one. I think I kind of prefer this one, like just the way that these muscles are inserted. But the right one is a little bigger. So whenever I do leg extensions, kind of to accommodate for this size discrepancy, single leg, I always do the left leg first, and then match the reps with the right. That's what do we got right here? Front relaxed. Definitely heavier and more muscular than the beginning of the year. That is always the fucking goal. That's a little ab and thigh. That'd be perfect right now. So whenever you see somebody do a pose where they suck their stomach in like a vacuum, all they're doing is they're blowing all the air out of their lungs as hard as possible. And then, well, you just suck your stomach in. You get better at it with practice, of course. Same with anything. And it helps if you haven't eaten much. And if your stomach's full of food, you're not going to be able to hit a fucking good vacuum. Not at all. Whoa. All right, so that's a pretty decent little check-in. Obviously, I didn't do every fucking bodybuilding pose, like, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, for those curious about how the legs play into comparison with the upper body, because usually I only look at things one part at a time when I do the pump check at the end of a lift, but not today. What side is whatever. There's no tag on this shirt. I don't know which side is fucking which. I really need to bring a fucking separate shirt when I do this cardio. Because even when I do lifts, honestly, because I'm just fucking drenched. Ugh. I don't mind being like wet and sweaty, but putting on a fucking wet, cold shirt after I've taken it off. Ugh. It's like going to the bathroom when you're at the pool. You got to put the swimsuit back on. Awful. But let's just get in the car. We're down here. And it wasn't even that fucking hard. There we go. Oh, I need just slightly... That's pretty freaky right there. I don't know. Every time I've got short sleeves on, I'm always like checking out my arm. Like, let's just get the fuck out of here. Dude, I can tell oh, am I nose? Do I stink? I think I'm nose blind. I think I am nose blind to how I smell when I'm sweaty, I'm sure. But I definitely, oh, I'm fucking gross right now. I'm all drenched. Time to go home and shower. That is the first thing on the agenda. But what else is there to reference? So yeah, holy shit. That whoa, that just sort of, I think I'll make it the thumbnail shot of this video, and that vacuum. I love that behind the head vacuum. Those are starting to look pretty freaky. And that's and that's with eating at a surplus, having a little bit of extra flub on me. Obviously, it sounds fucking stupid for me to say I've got flub on me, but the difference between me now and me diced in about, honestly, it really won't take me too long. Let's just say 2 months. It's gonna be pretty fucking cool. I tell you what. Because I'm definitely getting to, I think I've honestly pushed this bulk for too long. I think I've pushed it for too long. Not in the sense of like, what's the word am I even thinking of? Well, I guess I won't say that per se, because I've definitely been making like long-term progress. This is, I guarantee, the most muscular, like the most lean mass I've ever had on my frame at once. But it's not the heaviest I've ever been. I was pointing this out on the way here, because I've been like 5 or 6 pounds heavier than I was this morning, earlier in this bulk. But that was a little bit softer, and probably a bit more water and carbs than me. I need to fucking make sure I carb up these next couple days, just to, hit that little peak, get the most, get all this bulk out of my system. Really fucking, well, honestly, just get full. That's the name of the game right now. But yeah, honestly, the bulk it's gonna end sooner than you think, because honestly, based on my track record of saying that, you would probably think it's never gonna end. So just keep an eye out. I don't know what I'll call it. I'll come up with some kind of funny title for the cut series. But yeah, so I'm gonna do one more full day of eating. Maybe I'll record my day tomorrow, and then so that'll be, in a bulking context, the tons of fucking food. And then as soon as I start the cut, I'll just bust out another one. And oh my god, the day will look completely fucking different. Oh well, yeah, I guess I'll wait a week or two just to get into the groove of it. But the meals and the types of foods that I'll be eating are going to be absolutely night and day. Because you got to think, if I were to break it down in like just a very basic idea, my goal in a bulking context is to put as much fucking fuel into the engine as possible. Now, where it comes from, I don't put too much weight into that aspect. Obviously, I wouldn't want to just sit here and, well, I don't know, I guess I do eat pretty crazy. But, come back. There we go. But when I'm actually dieting, what'll happen is it'll be difficult to stay under that limit. That's the whole point of dieting. I don't like a transitional period of like gradually decrease. No, I'd want to jump straight into a diet. Because for me, that's how I find the most progress. Because I'm not doing an actual diet. Like, I'm not trimming down for a show. I'm just trying to do like pretty much a mini cut, like a break from the bulk, a break from eating an exorbitant amount of calories. So, 2-ish months of 2,500 calories, I am not concerned with losing any muscle mass at all, considering the fact that I'm going to be training all my fucking muscles and eating enough protein. You're not going to lose any fucking, well, I guess I say that. You're probably not going to lose any muscle. You may lose some muscle size purely due to the fact that you're not going to be as full. Your muscles won't be holding so much carbs and water. But the only way you're going to actually be losing muscle is if you're eating like 1,500 fucking calories a day. Like if you're actually starving yourself. You're probably good to go 500,000 calories below your maintenance, whatever that ends up being. You'll probably be all right. Now, I'm saying that in a very arbitrary sense. Do not take that as law. But for the most part, 500. I'd say if I were to recommend to somebody how steep their cut should be, I would say probably you'd want, if you've never done it, you're going to want to start at about, I don't know, 25, about 400 to 500 calories below your maintenance calories. Now, whether or not you know what your maintenance calories are, you're going to have to figure that out. Either by way of, looking it up online and plugging in your stats, like your weight, your body fat, your age, your gender, your activity level. Those will give you a basic idea, but really the way that you're going to find your maintenance calorie calculator with legitimate accuracy, or no, your maintenance calories, is just by tracking how much you eat and also tracking how much weight you're gaining or how your weight is changing. So let's say you've been eating 2,500 calories for the last couple of weeks, and you've also been tracking your weight every day, and you can tell that your weight is not changing. It's just staying the exact same. That means 2,500 is your maintenance calories. If you're gaining a pound a week, then I forget. I think the general idea is like, I don't even know. A pound of body fat is about 3,000 something calories. So if you're gaining a pound a week, that would kind of imply you're eating about 400-ish calories above maintenance. You're gonna have to figure this out for yourself. But basic idea, you got to eat less than you burn per day, so that you can use some of your own body's fat stores as energy. And then when they get burned off, guess what? You're losing fat and you're losing weight. It's the only way this shit works. Calories in, calories out. There is no debunking. There's no conversation to be had. There's no arguments to be made. Calories in, calories out is the number one factor which will determine whether or not you gain weight or you lose weight. Now, in the context of a weightlifter, of a bodybuilder like myself, and I would imagine a lot of you guys, even if you're not like a competitor, if you're training for muscle hypertrophy, then well, you're a lifter. I'd say lifter is a better title for us. But if you're lifting, then the calories in, calories out game is it's not just weight up and weight down. If you're bulking, so let's say you're eating a calorie surplus, well, obviously in both instances you're eating enough protein, about 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're eating in a surplus plus training, that means you're gaining muscle and maybe a little bit of fat as well. Obviously, it's going to change depending on how steep your bulk is, but whatever. And in a dieting context, you're not going to lose muscle, assuming you're not absolutely starving yourself and eating your protein, but you'll only be losing fat. So really for us, the name of the game with calories in, calories out is either muscle/fat gain or fat loss. So assuming that those two scenarios are what you manage to put yourself into, obviously for me, I just bulked for fucking a while. So I have definitely gained some weight comprised of a little bit of fat and some muscle. So that means I've gained fat and I've gained muscle. Now, once I do this little cut, assuming I don't lose any muscle, that would imply that I only lose fat. So at the end of this little cycle of bulking and then cutting, I should have more muscle at the end of it than I did at the beginning. And that's pretty much what my trend has been for the last couple of bulks. You know, I've got it all plugged into a graph on Google Sheets. So it's like weight gain, peak bulk, trim down. And that trim down state is heavier than the beginning. So it's just more and more and more and more and more. To infinity, 300 pounds lean, 700 pounds ripped, if you get that reference. So, yeah, whatever. So I will see you tomorrow for legs, god damn it.